Rockers Roger Daltrey and Pete Townshend among those helping teenagers and young adults fighting cancer who all too often find themselves in a no man's land between pediatric and adult care. That's starting to change thanks to greater awareness of their special needs. Joining us today from Los Angeles is Simon Davies, the Executive Director of Teen Cancer America, and WSJ's Informed Patient columnist Laura Landro. Thanks to both of you for being here. Laura, I'm going to start with you. Why is it so important that teenagers get specialized care when they're suffering from cancer?
Well, you know, they've been identified as a group that's sort of fallen into a no man's land behind, you know, pediatrics on the one hand and adult oncology on the other. So they're either in a screaming baby ward or an adult with a guy walking around with his, you know, back of his gown opened, and it's very isolating and depressing for them, but also it's medical. There's a biological difference in the tumors that they have, and they need to be treated differently, and they need to emotional and psychosocial issues. So there's a whole gamut of things that need to be done differently for teens, and they are falling through the cracks a little bit. With survival rates haven't budged in like 30 years.
That is very, very alarming. And Simon, I'm going to turn to you now because you come to us from the UK where you've already implemented some changes there. Can you tell us what you've done along with the WHO and what you are doing here in the States?
Sure. Well, as you can imagine, Roger Daltrey is a very passionate ambassador, but we've been working in the UK now for, well, actually since about 1990 was the first specialist teenage facility that was built there by a charity called Teenage Cancer Trust, and I was executive director there for 13 years. And now we have developed over 27 of these facilities right throughout the UK and all the major cancer centres, and it's now mainstream. It's what the UK National Health System expects, and these young people are treated in specialist units all the time now.
Simon, can you give us some details on what those specialist units contain? I understand there's some music therapy, there's things targeting the interests of teenagers and young adults.
Yes, I mean, we believe very much in creating an environment that is conducive to young people, that helps them develop during the time that they're getting cancer, so that they are beautiful places. They have computers and PlayStations and social areas that make them feel very comfortable. But actually, as well and more importantly in some respects, we have a dedicated multidisciplinary team that's becoming expert in the cancers that these young people get and the treatments that they need.
And Laura, you spoke with several young cancer patients, teenage cancer patients. What did they describe to you about this time in their life, number one, already being an insecure time, just
Exactly.
being a teenager?
Well, as Roger Daltrey says, you know, if you just get a spot on your face in this time of life, it's devastating. So now you're losing your hair, you're sick all the time, you're kind of sidetracked from school, from work. You know, young adults, the category can range from 13, some people say as old as 39, but it's really 13 maybe to 24. And all those things in your life that you need to do. Fertility preservation. A lot of people, like maybe 7% of kids were being talked to about sperm banking or now ovary, preservation. So a lot of those things weren't being, talked about. And also whether you're going to participate in clinical trials or not. And your parents, who you're trying to get independent from, all of a sudden they're kind of taking care of everything for you again.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of issues that have to be dealt with.
And I did want to talk a little bit about the fertility counseling, because that's a huge issue for these young people who may want to have families someday, but are not perhaps thinking about that yet.
Exactly.
It's crucial that they get that sort of counseling. So that is on the rise. Great.
Absolutely. In fact, at Seattle Children's Hospital, I think they started out with maybe 7%, and now they're up to 90%, with just a program that says, here's the protocol we're going to use to sit down and talk with these kids about these issues that you can think about for
egg
the future.
freezing and sperm freezing.
Yeah, obviously sperm banking is the biggest thing now because that's the kind of easiest.
Sure.
And with egg freezing, they'll talk, if a woman qualifies, if she's eligible, if she can do it before she has to start treatment. So there's a lot of ins and outs about it.
I'm so glad that this is happening right now. Laura, thank you so much. And Simon, thanks to you. Thanks to both of you for being here with us today.